There are things a man can let go, and then there are things he must never allow. Not once. Not even just this time. Because when you tolerate disrespect, you're not being kind. You're teaching her that she can keep doing it. And she will. You tell yourself it's love. You call it compromise. You say you're keeping the peace. But deep down, you know the truth. It's surrender. And the moment you start swallowing your pride, your boundaries, your dignity, you stop being a man and start becoming a performer, a people pleaser, an emotional hostage. Most men don't realize this until it's too late. They look around one day and wonder, why don't I feel like myself anymore? Why don't I feel respected? Why does she act like she can say or do anything, and I'll just take it? The answer is simple, because you've let her. You've allowed the little things, the jokes at your expense, the flirting with others, the silent treatment when she doesn't get her way, to become the norm. And every time you stayed quiet, every time you laughed it off, every time you apologized when she was wrong, you trained her. You showed her that your peace, your self-respect, your value are all negotiable. And once a woman learns that, respect dies. Not overnight, but slowly, silently, until one day she doesn't look at you the way she used to. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you stopped standing for something right. Let's start with the most dangerous one, flirting with other men to get a reaction. This isn't about her being friendly. This is a test, cold, calculated, and deeply disrespectful. She laughs too loud at another man's joke. She touches his arm, by accident. She gives him a look just long enough for you to notice, then glances back at you, waiting, watching, not to see if you'll get jealous, but to see if you'll break. Will you panic? Will you beg for attention? Will you try harder, perform more, become smaller just to feel like you belong? That's what she's really testing. Most men fail here, not by yelling or making a scene, but by doing nothing. Silence, in the face of disrespect, isn't strength. It's permission. A Stoic man doesn't react with anger, but he doesn't stay silent either. He sees the game for what it is and calmly says, I don't compete for attention. If you want to, act like you're single, be single, but I won't share my life with someone who disrespects me. No drama, no begging, just truth. And in that moment, everything changes, because she expected you to either explode or collapse. But you didn't. You stood, and that's when real power shows up. Not in volume, but in stillness. You don't need to prove you care, you just need to prove you won't be disrespected. And if she can't handle that, she doesn't deserve you. Then there's weaponizing tears to avoid accountability. This one cuts deep because it hits a man's instinct to protect. She does something wrong, lies, disrespects you, crosses a line, and when you call her on it, she breaks down. Tears, shaking voice. I can't believe you'd say that to me. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about her actions anymore. No, it's about your reaction. You go from holding her accountable to comforting her, from setting a boundary to apologizing, and just like that, the issue vanishes. This isn't real pain, this is manipulation. A real woman in real pain will still take responsibility, but a woman who uses tears as a shield, she's not hurting, she's controlling. And if you let her get away with it, you teach her that every mistake has an easy escape route. Cry, and the man will back down. A strong man doesn't fall for it. He stays calm. He doesn't comfort until the truth is faced. He says, I'm not attacking you. I'm holding you accountable. We can talk about how you feel, but first we talk about what happened. That's how you protect your integrity, because love shouldn't require you to abandon your truth just to keep the peace. If she can't handle being called out, without turning it into a performance, she doesn't respect you, and she certainly doesn't respect herself. Now let's talk about your public disrespect disguised as jokes. She makes fun of your job, your body, your habits, and in front of her friends, your coworkers, even strangers. Everyone laughs. She smirks. And when you flinch, she says, Relax, it's just a joke. But it's not. It's humiliation. And it's not about humor, it's about power. Women don't publicly mock men they truly respect. They don't make you the punchline unless they want to see how far they can push you. And if you laugh along, if you brush it off to keep the peace, you're sending a clear message. My dignity doesn't matter here. A man of self-respect doesn't tolerate this, not once. He doesn't yell. He doesn't make a scene. He simply says calmly, "Don't joke about me like that in public. If you have something to say, we'll talk about it privately." Short, clear, unshakable. That's how you protect your worth. Because every time you let her disrespect you in public, you lose a little more of her respect, and a little more of your own self-respect. And it will escalate. Today, it's your clothes. Tomorrow, it's your masculinity. The audience changes, but the message stays the same. I can disrespect him and he'll do nothing. A Stoic man knows this, and he stops it before it starts. Then comes using your love as leverage. One of the most toxic games in relationships. If you really loved me, you'd do this. Maybe I should be with someone who appreciates me. Or the silent version, the cold shoulder withholding affection, making you feel like her love is a prize you have to earn by obeying her. Demands. This isn't love. This is control. And men fall for it because they're addicted to her affection, her approval, her presence. So they cave. They jump through hoops. They abandon their values just to get back into her good graces. And they call it compromise. But it's not. It's emotional blackmail. A strong man sees it for what it is and says, "If you're withholding affection to control me, that's not love. That's manipulation. And I won't live in that kind of relationship." No begging, no negotiating, just a line in the sand, because real love isn't conditional. It doesn't come with strings, threats, or silent punishments. If she only loves you when you obey, that's not a partner. That's a dictator. And no man with self-respect lives under someone else's emotional tyranny. You don't need to fight. You just need to walk, not as a threat, but as a statement. I value myself too much to be controlled. Another silent killer. Belittling your goals and passions. She laughs at your business idea, calls your fitness journey obsessive, says your hobbies are a waste of time. It sounds small, but it's not. It's contempt. Because when a woman mocks your dreams, she's telling you she doesn't believe in you. And if you tolerate it, you're telling yourself the same thing. A man without purpose isn't a man. He's a shadow. Your goals, your mission, your drive, these are the foundation of who you are. They're not optional. They're what make you more than just someone's boyfriend. They're what make you. A Stoic man doesn't let anyone, especially the woman he loves, undermine that. He says, "If you can't respect my vision, you don't respect me. And if that's the case, we are not aligned." Because love shouldn't require you to shrink. And if she tests your commitment to your purpose, don't fold. Stay the course. Because if you give up your dreams to please her, she won't admire your sacrifice. She'll resent your weakness. A real woman wants a man who's growing, not one who's shrinking to fit her comfort zone. Finally, there are the boundary tests. The late arrivals without apology, the eye rolls, the dismissive tone, the threats to leave when she doesn't. Get her way. These aren't isolated incidents, they're patterns, and every time you let them slide, you teach her that your limits are flexible, that your word doesn't matter, that she can push, and you'll bend. A Stoic man doesn't wait until the disrespect becomes unbearable. He sets the boundary early, calmly, clearly. That's not acceptable. If it continues, I won't stay. He doesn't scream. He doesn't beg. He simply enforces his standards, not to control her, but to protect himself. Because real strength isn't in volume, it's in consistency. And when you stop fearing her leaving, you stop being controlled by her threats. You become untouchable, grounded, free. So if you've tolerated any of this, if you've stayed silent too long, it's time to draw the line. Not with anger, not with drama, but with quiet, unshakable clarity. Say it now. I draw the line. Because the moment you do, you're not just protecting your relationship, you're reclaiming your self-respect. And that's where real power begins.